How you doing, man? Good. All right, everything's good. Everything's good. What we out here teaching, man, is our nationality, our history, our culture, according to the Bible. So let me ask you a question. What's your nationality? African American. All right. You know that term came out in like '85 from Jesse Jackson, right? So we know that our history, our nationality extends further than 1985, right? So we can't define ourselves by a, relatively new term. So this is the question. Give me Daniel 9:7. We're gonna let the Bible tell us, because contrary to popular belief, the Bible is our book. Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanic, that's our history book. That's our legacy. It's not a book of religion. What happened was the so-called white man, he got a hold of it and created religions about of it. We don't follow religion. We follow laws, statutes, and commandments. If you're familiar with the story of Moses, he went up on the mount, came back down with 10 commandments. He didn't come down with 10 religions, right? So we're supposed to be following a way of life known as laws, okay? Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws. Let me read this, Daniel 9:7. I'm gonna help you understand where we're going with this.
Daniel chapter 9 and verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces.
See that the Bible said righteousness belongs to the Lord, but to us confusion of faces. We don't know who we are. You say African American, right? Let's say your dad or your mom in their era, they may say, well, we was known as colored, or black, or Negro, or, you see what I'm saying? Every damn 10, 15 years, they switch it up who we are. Sooner or later, we got to back away and say, I'm not going to let you determine or define who I am by keep putting these titles on me. Because let me hit you to this. Historically, Amerigo Vespucci was whom America was named after. Amerigo Vespucci. Then you had a Roman general named Leo Scipio Africanus that named a portion of Africa after himself. So when you combine the two, Amerigo Vespucci, Leo Scipio Africanus, African American, those are two white men. You ain't the same. You don't look like no white man to me, bro. So we're not gonna hold on to that, because that's why the Lord said, but to us belong confusion of faces, right? Go ahead.
As at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel.
Unto all Israel, right? So now we're identifying. The Lord said, my people have confusion of faces. We don't know who we are. But here's the deal. If you look at any biblical-based movie, what color are the people?
They should be brown.
They're white. They're supposed to be brown-skinned people, right? But they're telling us these lies. Let's get a couple of color scriptures out the Bible that shows and proves that the Bible tells us that the people of the book, the Israelites, were actually black people, brown people. Go ahead, what you got?
Job chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
Job, a prophet of the Lord, said his skin is black upon him.
That's the same Bible they
same Bible they use it in the churches. They not bringing this stuff out. They not telling our people the truth. When it said we got confusion of faces, it said we got to learn about who we are. We got to identify, remove the confusion, so that we can really embrace this book. Because again, they took the book and they started making religions, and people started tap dancing with the feel good stuff rather than saying really what the book is about. It's a book of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, history, truth. Okay, give me what you got.
Psalms of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 5.
You heard of Solomon, right? Never heard of King Solomon? Okay, King Solomon, here we go.
I am black.
Wait, what?
I am black.
White?
I am black.
Mulatto?
I am black.
Clearly, he said, man, I'm black, right? Read on.
But comely.
But beautiful. You ever heard that term back in the day? Black and beautiful? He said it first. Defining himself, and he said what?
O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
As the curtains of Solomon. So he's acknowledging color again. Now, Solomon was a so-called black man. Job, read.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
Wait, what?
Niger.
Barnabas and Simeon, these are two apostles. Niger, N-I-G-E-R, which in the Latin they would pronounce nigger, but that's only depicting a color, black. Nowadays it's been flipped into either a term of endearment, or you look it up in a dictionary, a nigger is somebody that's ignorant, right? But in here it's saying in the Latin it's Niger meaning black or nigger meaning black. So we got apostles that's black. Even the Apostle Paul, he was mistaken for being an Egyptian. But here they are telling us all these people are white, right? Read, what you got?
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Their visage is blacker than a coal.
Talking about the children of Israel who were in bondage in Babylon. So their visage, meaning their facial features, their visage, blacker than a coal. Why we not getting taught this stuff in these churches, man? Why isn't the educational system giving us this true history about who we are? What all the connection is? Give me Christ. Give me the ultimate. You got me? Go ahead.
Book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So this is John the Revelator, right? John was an apostle. He was banished to the Isle of Patmos for teaching against the Roman government. They were calling it sedition. You go speaking against the government, they said, man, you banished to the island of Patmos. The island of Patmos was like Alcatraz. You know, that island prison they got up north? That's where he was at, right? While he was there, he was getting revelation through his dream. Revelation is a revealing, okay? Read.
And they girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Now check this out. Historically, and to this day, throughout the world, in all religious institutions, isn't this what they depict Christ to look like? Well, no. Yeah, you come on over here too. Who is this? Who were you raised to believe this was?
I have no idea who that is.
You never seen this picture before? Okay, you may not know him. How about him?
He's depicted as the Jesus Christ.
He's depicted as Jesus Christ. Do you believe that that's what he looked like though? No. What do you say he looked like?
No idea.
Not sure? Okay. Well, let's find out. You believe in the Bible?
Of course.
Okay, well, let's find out what the Bible said. We're right here. Revelation, 1st chapter. You stay here, brother, because it's really for you. Go ahead.
I'm interested.
Verse
Yeah,
14.
no question.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Start verse 11 and then drop down and read verse 13 again.
Verse 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last.
This is Christ giving John his revelation. He said, I'm Alpha, Omega, first and last. Read.
What thou seest, write in the book.
Everything you see, document and write it down. Okay? So John the Revelator gets this revelation. He gets this revealing. He starts to document everything that he was receiving through the vision. Go ahead, drop down and read verse 13.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and a girt about the paps with the golden girdle.
So it said that this same person that said, I'm Alpha and Omega, I'm the beginning and the last, now he's describing who's talking to him. He said, he was like the Son of Man. Same moniker that Christ goes by. He said he had a garment down to the foot, and he was girded about with a golden girdle around his paps. His paps is his abdomen area, okay? So it's showing his outward appearance, what the garment was that he had on. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His head and the hairs of his head were white like wool. Do we see that here at all? Not at all.
He's blonde.
Not even blonde.
White.
White isn't blonde.
No.
White is like gray.
White
Even
is
when the
in
gray grows out, it
Yeah.
turns white.
Yeah, white like a sheep wool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
look here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
read.
Okay.
As white as snow.
So that's letting you know the color again was depicted, but it said the texture was what?
White like wool.
Like wool. So the texture alone was white like wool. Okay, so his hair wasn't stringy.
No.
Clearly not. It's not white. So baseball fans, maybe
When I
a
was
little
younger.
bit Dodgers, Yankees, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Hair white like wool. Strike one. Wool. Strike two. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Fire because of the indignation, the righteous anger that he had. Also it tells you in Matthew the 11th chapter that he was a wine bibber, right? So Matthew 19 tells you that he was going to be executing judgment. So the rage. Do you see a red tint in his eyes at all? No, perfectly clear. Everything looks good. You know, no blemishes on him. Rick.
And
Give me
his
one more
feet
minute, my
like
brother.
unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Wait, read that one more time.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Remember, he had a garment down to the foot, so what he could see was his feet. It said his feet were like fine brass. However, they looked like they had been burnt in a furnace. Brass is a derivative of brown.
Right.
So now they said now if they were burnt, obviously it was dark. Right? Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
So he had a strong, powerful voice as well. When you see in the movies, he's walking around all quiet and meek and timid. But now I said that truly, the Savior was what? Dark-skinned, white woolly hair, looked like his feet had been burnt in a furnace. Meanwhile, this is the King of the Jews. Why are they telling us that the Jews look like this? At what point in time, what kingdom do you know where the king doesn't look like his people?
Right.
Now you understand? Somebody's been laughing. Give me John 8:32. Somebody else give me that Matthew 2 where Pontius said, where is he that's born King of the Jews?
John 8:32.
John 8:32. See, the message really is for my people. When I speak my people, I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, because our identity has been stolen from us. We don't know who we are. We've been told we're black, African American, colored, Negro, everything under the sun. However, we've got a legacy that connects us
But
to
you
the
know what
Bible.
you do know what you are?
Go ahead.
Were you born in the United States?
Yeah.
You're an American.
Landmass does not determine my nationality.
You're an
My,
American.
give me numbers. Excuse me. First Chronicles 9:1. Landmass can't determine my nationality. If I was born in China, I'm Chinese now?
If you
Hold
were
on.
Yeah.
If I'm born in China, I'm Chinese?
If you're
You know
born-
damn well you wouldn't look at me no damn Chinese.
If you're
See,
born in
don't
China,
start
you're
that.
Chinese.
See, this is how white man does. White man always lies.
You're a Chinese
This is
citizen.
devil for you. You won't do that.
You're a Chinese citizen.
Citizen, I'm talking nationality.
Yeah.
You just told me if I'm born in America, I'm an American. We're not
Yeah,
talking
well,
citizenship.
if you-
We're
when you
talking
label yourself-
nationality. Nationality.
When you label yourself, you put a bigger target on yourself.
I don't have to label myself. You know who did that? Blumenbach. Your man, your people did that in the 1800s.
Exactly.
We don't deal with that.
Yeah.
You guys created the race theory. You guys created the divisions of races. All I'm doing is identifying, saying that's BS. I don't follow that. I follow what the Bible said. You're trying to give me some narrative that your people created. Hold on, because now once we identify and saying, okay, well, Christ was a so-called black man, King of the Jews, once that starts coming out, you can't accept that. You stop and say, well, hold on.
No.
As soon as you go there,
I'm totally fine.
but are you born in
what
America?
You said, what you said, I'm
But
totally
you know,
fine with that.
but when I started
Yeah.
connecting the dots, saying if he was black and King of the Jews, the narrative is that the Jews are all white, which we know that's a lie, based upon what we said in the Bible. You said you believe in the Bible, so I'm saying if the King of the Jews is black, and there are other people who obviously are Jews who are black, we are the ones who's had our nationality stolen from us. We're identifying now in various scriptures,
And you're
history,
Jewish.
and everything else. I'm not Jewish. I don't wish to be anything. I'm a Jew according to the Bible. I'm an Israelite according to the Bible. Okay? First Chronicles 9:1. I got your precept X.
First Chronicles chapter 9 and verse 1. So all Israel were reckoned by genealogy.
See, the Israelites were reckoned by our genealogies, not by our landmass where we're born at, okay? So it doesn't matter where I'm born at. I can be born in Spain, Puerto Rico, I can be born in Russia. But guess what? My nationality is going to be based upon my forefathers. Give me Numbers 1:18. What's your precept?
I got Revelation 2 and 9. I still got John 8, verse 2.
We'll get both of those, but give me Numbers first.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families,
Pedigrees, meaning our bloodlines, after our families. Go ahead.
by the house of their fathers.
By their mothers.
Their fathers.
Where pedigree is determined by our forefathers, not based upon where I'm born. So again, am I an American? By what? Citizenship, but not by nationality. Bloodline. That's what we're talking about. You trying to flip it.
You were robbed of your nationality.
Of course. Hold on.
But your own people
Okay,
did
hold
that to you too.
on. Hold on. We're gonna get a truth of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you say that one more time. Go ahead, so you're on camera. Go ahead. Say it again.
Your own,
No, say it from the beginning. Everything you said. What was taken from us?
your nationality was taken from you.
Who did that?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. You goddamn devil. See?
I'm not
That's
sure.
why
I
you
wasn't
do
born
that.
back then.
You have to be.
That was a long
Your
time.
forefathers documented
No,
the history.
Actually, my forefathers were they bought and He bought and
Go.
sold you guys too. So
Say it again.
My forefathers bought and sold you guys also.
So what comes along with that? When you buy and sell someone, and you take them from their culture, you take them from their nationality, you strip them of their name, you strip them of their education, you implant a new education on them, you give them a new name, you give them a new diet, you give them everything. Now, again, who is responsible for taking our nationality history away from us?
The owner.
Who's the owner?
Whoever bought. and
You
sold
just said my forefathers did, you admit to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been telling, if you don't knock it off, man, just admit it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's not my
You-
fault they did it. I
It
wasn't
is
born
your
back
fault.
then.
Well, guess what? You don't have to be born back then. Give me the Isaiah 14:21 again. What you got? Give me Matthew 2. You got that with Herod saying, where is he born, king of the Jews? Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 2, saying, where is he that is born king of the Jews?
You remember this history when Herod was the king of Rome, or that particular province. He put out a hit. All the firstborn. He said, where is he that's born king of the Jews? Because he knew the prophecy of Christ being raised up. He wanted to kill him.
Right.
But he was named what?
Saying, where is he that is born king of the Jews?
Born king of the Jews, which we identify as a so-called black man. So now, already back then, we're seeing an active genocide trying to be performed by a Roman white man trying to kill a black baby. You understand? Now he was a
Hundreds of them.
king of the Jews. Absolutely, right? So, what you got?
Psalms 83, John 8 and 32.
Psalms 83. Let's roll with that one. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Our friends,
Thine enemies make a tumult.
our fellow citizens,
Thine enemies make a tumult.
our enemies. You understand? The Bible identified that the people of Israel, our people, have enemies here. Whether you see it, foresee it, understand or not, whether you're going along with the program or not, whether you're ignorant of the fact or not, doesn't matter. We understand and know who is against us. You may say, well, I'm not actively doing it, but guess what?
But you're.
Hold on. I'm gonna give you a chance. Here, use the mic.
When your family was sold, put into slavery from Africa, they put you on ships and sent you over here. Well, your kings of Africa are the ones that actually sold you.
See, that's not true.
That is true.
That's not-
we
that's
didn't
not
just
true.
go over there and start collecting.
I'm gonna show you why. Give me Zondervan. Give me Zondervan. Exodus 11
The
and 7.
Portuguese are the ones that brought you to the United States.
Yep, the Portuguese, the British, the Spanish, all of them is guilty. And you know what? I'm gonna hit you with an even greater fact. None of those are different nationality based according to the Bible. They're all white.
And I'm not any of those. I'm from
Where?
Scotland.
You're still white. See how you trying to play them games? That's what you guys hide behind. I'm not British. I'm Scottish. I'm not Scottish. I'm Russian. I'm not Russian. I'm Scandinavian. But you know what? If I put you all in the lineup and said, who did the crime? He looked like a Scottish person. All of y'all look the same. So you're all white. Hold on. I'm going to get to your question or your statement about black selling black to the kings sold us out. This is Zondervan, biblical scholar, archaeologist, so forth and so on. It's a compact Bible dictionary. Have you ever heard of the son of Ham? Ham. Okay. Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? These 3 sons started to begin the progenitors of all the nations that you see today, after the flood, okay? Only 8 souls survived after the flood. You're familiar with Noah and the flood, right?
Right.
Only 8 souls survived, Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. That's the 8. Ham, Shem, and Japheth were the 3 sons who started to create, or their offspring started to create nations and inhabit different places of the world. Now we're going to read about his son Ham. Read.
The definition of Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
So Ham became the progenitor or the forefather of the dark races. Okay, read.
Not the Negro.
Whoa. Why is he making a distinction between all the dark races and the Negroes. Go ahead, read that again.
Not the Negro.
So he did. One of your scholars coming from your bloodline. What did he say, Scottish? I'm Scottish. Jonathan was a Jew. Oh, the research was done. He said the dark races that Ham was a forefather of were different from the Negroes. Now, the question is who was calling themselves Negro? If people, the brothers, people in Africa, they know what country they're from, what tribe they're from, so forth and so on. Who are the ones called Negroes here? You look like you probably was of age when we were called Negroes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he said we're different than those other sons of Ham, those other dark races. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes, but the Egyptians.
We know Egyptians is dark, right? African nation, right?
Ethiopian.
Dark, right? African nation.
Libyan.
Libyans, North Africans.
India.
Libyans.
Yeah. In India.
India's dark too, but they don't come from Ham, right?
And Canaanite.
And Canaanites, okay. These were other the southern African tribes, okay? But he said we're different than the Negroes. Read that in Exodus 11:7.
Verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord hath put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
So you see that the Lord said there's a difference between us and the Egyptians. The Bible Dictionary, John Van, confirmed that. Just because you got a black cat, black dog, the color doesn't determine that they're the same species, same race, and nothing. So everybody, I'm gonna hit you with it. Everybody is melanated or has melanin in their skin except for your people. Everybody. What nation do you have that's got melanin? What other people do you know that's dark or have melanin in their skin and in their DNA except for you? You're the only one that can be identified easily. You just said the East Indians, they different than Africans, right?
Yeah.
You got the Hawaiians and Polynesians, they dark.
Right. Yeah.
Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, they all have for the majority, have a brown tint to them, right? Only your people. Give me that Esau. But let me get back to Psalms 83. I ain't gonna let you get away with that. Hold on. Psalms 83. Now listen up. The Lord, read it from the top again.
Psalms 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So David is making this prayer. He's saying, look, my enemies are making a tumult. They're making a big discussion regarding the children of Israel. Read.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So crafty counsel has been taken against us. How to take away our land, how to take away our nationality, how to take away our history, our laws, how to impose upon them unjust laws. You know, why do we need affirmative action? Why do we need all of these particular laws to try to equate things for us if things weren't imbalanced already? So crafty counsel's already been taken. All of the medical experimentation that's been done, they use our people for it. Crafty counsel has been taken against us, right? But the Lord said this has been done by our enemies. Go ahead.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So their objective said is, let's cut them off from being a nation. A nation is indicative of a nationality. Let's take away their nationality. Let's take away their nationhood. Let's divide them. Let's conquer them. Our people are comprised of 12 tribes. 12 different tribal families make one nation of people known as the nation of Israel, the Israelites. We're all descendants of Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. They took that concept, what the Bible speaks of as a righteous nation, 12 tribal families making one nation. They said, let's take that away. Let's create a bunch of different races. Let's create a bunch of different nationalities out of them, divide them, separate them, so that they have no idea of their kinship towards one another. That was crafty, okay? That's why I said, what's it, Blumenbach, back in like the 1800s. He created the race chart. Black, yellow, red, brown, all that. We didn't do that. But now he created all of these different forms of segregation, right?
Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name Israel may be no more in remembrance.
See, our people don't remember us as being Israel. We think Negro, black, we think, Hispanic, Native American tribes, we think all of these other things except for Israel. We have no connection to it. That's why we come out here and we teach to our people, our brothers and sisters, to let them know, hey, the Lord is calling you. The Lord wants you to be back part of our nation again. The deceptive ways that our enemies have done, that's been exposed now. We can teach and tell you the truth now. Now we got to follow it. Read.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They've got one objective, one consent is what?
The tabernacles of Edom.
Hold on. The first tabernacle, the first people they said was Edom. You know who Edom is? Let me show you. What you got? Let's get out the Bible first. We're going to find out, because this is how we got to do. The Lord said you got enemies. They're taking crafty counsel against you. They're trying to make sure that you don't know that you're Israel anymore. And they're working confederate against you. He said the first ones that we need to identify is Edom. So we got to say, who is Edom then? How do we know that? Who are these people? Genesis 25, read 21 first.
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren.
So Isaac, our forefather, he entreated to the Lord because his wife was barren. She couldn't have babies. Rebecca, read.
Because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
So the Lord heard the prayers. She was able to now conceive. Okay, read.
And the children struggled together within her.
The children now were in the womb, struggling even in the womb. Children. So that means she had twins. They're in the womb, struggling. Going at it. Read.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
She said, now if this is a blessing from the Lord, we prayed for this. I got twins. Why am I going through such a hard pregnancy? These babies in there struggling, they're going through it. I'm having problems. Good Lord. Why? Read.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
He said 2 babies,
Nations,
2 children,
nations.
2 nations. That means the progenitors of these 2 babies will create nations of people. These 2 babies, from these 2, they're going to progenerate a whole 2 nations of people. Read.
Are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people.
And 2 different mannerisms, even though they're twins, they're not identical, they're paternal. He said they're going to have 2 different ways about them, 2 different mannerisms, right? Go ahead.
Shall be separated from thy bowels.
That's supposed to kick it together?
Separated from thy bowels.
He said, once they come out your bowels, keep them away from each other. They're already warned in the womb. Now imagine how much hell you're going to get when they start trying to hang out with each other. He said, separate them. Read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other.
One's going to be stronger than the other. Read.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder is going to serve the younger. So the oldest born son prophetically will serve the younger one. But it said one's going to be stronger than the other. Let me ask you this. I'm going to give you a little hint. You said you don't watch sports too much?
No, not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot? Okay. Let me just ask you this.
Auto racing.
A lot of racing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would like racing because they don't allow us in there. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, right? From over there, he do all the races out of London, right? Is he black? You ever heard of him?
You
ever heard of Michael Jordan?
What about Bubba?
Michael Jordan just got a
Jordan,
team.
right? You
Yeah.
heard about
What's the cat? Bubba something? What's the brother named Bubba something? He was going through the lynching,
Yeah.
the so-called lynch. He's black, right? Is he a champion?
He's not a champion
Has
yet.
he won some races?
No, not really.
No? Okay. Well, these are sports, so-called sports that y'all don't let us in. You let us in, we on your ass. You know that. Boxing.
Michael Jordan let him in.
Michael Jordan. Of course, because you would. You would. It took one of our own to have to open up the doors, man, to find a team.
There's
Come on.
projectively, auto racing is a white man's sport. It's because of the money that it takes to get into auto racing. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it.
And why don't we have
For the most part,
why don't we have access to that money and them sponsors and everything else?
because you don't go out and achieve it.
No, it's because you won't allow it.
I used to auto race for
Okay,
20 years.
I got you. No, don't
For 20
distract
years
me.
I auto raced.
All right.
Nobody gave me a dime except for my sponsors.
Well, sponsors.
Exactly.
You got access to things that we don't. Right. Why? Because
I
of
went out and
privilege.
worked for 'em.
You ain't got to work for it. You ain't got to work for it.
have to
I
work
guarantee you, man, if you got a homeless black man, homeless white man, you clean him up, that white man's going to get a job before the black man does. Guaranteed. Again, why do we need affirmative action if the hiring and firing process wasn't fair? Okay. You listen up.
All
now.
sports.
Okay, I got you. But it said one's gonna be stronger than the other.
Yeah.
We can play them. You know,
Ball-
look at the
stick
UFC,
and ball
look at
sports are a
boxing,
whole
look
lot
at
different
basketball,
than auto racing.
look at baseball, look at all those sports. That's just on the physical level of being stronger, right? Genetically, we got it. That's why, you know, even on the comic
big
book
time.
level, man.
Yeah.
You know, Captain America had to get the super serum to try to be like Black Panther.
Look who used to just
Go
kill
ahead.
us in the Olympics in running.
Yeah, that's still going on. They ain't used
Africans.
to.
The Africans used to.
Not the Africans,
Yeah.
the Negroes,
Same boat ain't
the
Africa.
people here in America.
Well, they
Your
were
Carl
Africa.
Lewis's, your Usain Bolt.
Those are the ones that were holding the flag, right?
You still push that narrative about us being Africans. We just got to read. We're not Africans.
They
Africans
were
run,
Africans,
Africans run the distances.
Yeah.
They run them long distances in a marathon. We're
Yeah.
talking about sprints,
Yeah.
400, 200, 100 meters. That's all us. Jamaicans, Black Americans, that's us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 24.
Now remember, we're talking about the birth of two nations. They need to be separated from their womb. They got two different mannerisms about them. We live differently. You see it now, even in Hollywood. They're talking about all these little Hollywood stars coming out talking about how they don't bathe. Oh, bathing is overrated. How often do you bathe?
Sometimes more than that.
You sure? All right, I'm just being sure. Your people coming out talking about how they don't like bathing no more. How you like your steak?
Well done.
Get out of here. You know you like a little blood. You know you like a belly moving. You know what I mean? Don't be out here talking about well done. I ain't never seen a white man say like, hey, well steak,
I
well
like
done.
it like beef jerky, to be honest.
Get out of here. Goddamn liar. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled,
So now her days to be delivered is coming up, Rick.
behold, there were twins in her womb.
So the twins are there. Again, they're paternal, not identical, Rick.
I gotta go.
And the first came out red.
Wait a minute. The first came out what?
Red.
Red. Look at that. Bring it closer more. He said the first physically had to be described. Came out red. You understand? Blood shows forth through your skin. Your scalp transparent. Look, his collar is white. Look at his neck. You know why you guys call yourselves rednecks? Because of this. You want to know why? Because of the expressions that you can show on your face. I'm embarrassed, I'm blushing, turn red. Get mad, turn red.
Right.
This is what the Bible was describing. Look at this little baby. Red all over. Right? He said, but these are the people of Edom. But we're going to read. Go ahead. Now, I said we're twins, but not identical. Two different manners of people. First came out red. Go ahead.
All over like a hairy garment.
How often do you shave?
Excuse me.
How often? Shave,
Oh,
groom,
as least as possible.
as least as possible. You look like you clearly just shaved your beard probably about yesterday. Is that hair?
That's close.
Look, you see, that's why I call it 5 o'clock shadow.
2 days ago.
You
yeah.
wake up in the morning, you say about 5 o'clock, and shadow's already appearing.
Yeah, believe
Look
me,
at that.
I would have the beard.
Of course, look at you.
If I had my way.
That's what the Lord said. Red all over and hairy. Look at this guy. I mean, you would swear there was a full moon the night before. Look at it. I see you got hair all over here, all over here. That's you.
I work
Rick.
at wire brush.
Verse 25. And the first came out red. All over like a hairy garment.
Right.
And they called his name Esau.
Esau meaning rough and hairy. I saw. That's what rough and hairy means. Esau. Okay. Read on.
And after that came his brother out.
Why didn't they describe his brother? Nothing was wrong with him. The first one came out looking a little different than all the rest of the babies that was around. Red, hairy, came out looking crazy. Okay? Give me that, is that it? No. Go ahead.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Go ahead.
And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare them.
So Isaac was 60 years old. Esau came out first. Isaac tried to grab his heel. Because remember, the prophecy said the elders shall serve the younger. So Esau came out first. He's the older. He's going to serve Jacob, right? Give me 2 Ezra 6. And then give me Genesis 36. Let's say Esau is Edom. I'm gonna tie it all together for you real quick. So, son first came out. Oh no, it's in 25. We're talking about eating the red porridge, the red lentils. Okay. He said his name was Esau, right? Now, read on.
Verse 27. And the boys grew And Esau was a cunning hunter.
Esau's a cunning hunter. Do you have family you like to hunt?
Not no more.
Well, you said yeah. Tell the truth. Did you used to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people have the hunting licenses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talking about the NRA. We talking about all the hunting licenses. The thrill of the hunt, as your people like to talk about. You were formerly a hunter, but this same son was born with them instincts, a desire to do that. Esau said he was a cunning hunter. You guys do it no better, right? You guys can go out there. You go find all different kind of species of ants and bugs and everything else, including up to hunting down and capturing humans. Read.
A man of the field.
A man of the field, a man of the world. You know, you like to be outside. You like to be adventurous. You like to, explore. You like to be a part of the world, part of nature. You like to roll around, testing your faith. Driving 150, 60 miles an hour, spinning around trying to see, how fast can I push this thing?
When you see God, you make a left.
There you go, because you can't go right. Go.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
See, our people is plain, man. We relax, we chill, we like to play, hang out in the tents in the home. We don't care about running out into the middle of the field, going out hunting, messing with snakes and doing every damn thing. We're not jumping on no planes. We're not tying bungee cords around our ankles and jumping. We're not doing all of that. That's your people do that. Read.
And Isaac loved Esau
Go ahead.
because he did eat of his venison.
Go ahead.
But Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed partridge. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee.
So Esau's coming out from the field. He's out hunting. Jacob is in the house cooking. He said, man, I'm hungry. Feed me some of that red pottage that you eating. Read.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
The red pottage, it was a red pot of lentils, right? He wanted that red pottage to eat. He was willing to trade in his birthright because the firstborn receives the birthright. He gets all the inheritance of the father.
Right.
So we ain't gonna finish it up, but it said that Jacob said, well, sell me your birthright, I'll give you the whole pot. Esau said, I don't care about that birthright, I'm hungry. Give me the red pottage. Because he chose the red pottage, his name was changed to Edom. Edom means red. Edom, Edom meaning red or blood, okay? That was the description because not only was his skin, his depiction red, but he's hairy all over. He's a man of the field, loves to be part of the world, loves to hunt, right? See, these are all characteristics of your people. But remember, going back to Psalms 83, it said the tabernacles of Edom was going to be the head of this conspiracy to hold our people back, to strip us of our nationality, our history, everything else, even all the way down to slavery. You guys collaborated with some of the African tribes, not the Israelite tribes. We had settlements all throughout West Africa, Central Africa, the Eastern Sahara. We had already escaped from Jerusalem, came down there to seek refuge after the destruction of our temple in 70 AD. Our people came from Spain, Portugal, 1500s, after 70 AD, went to Africa. That's where we were sold, because why? The neighboring tribes of the Africans knew who we were, helped collaborate the collection of the Lord's people, and those were the ones who actually were part of the slave trade, along with the Arabs. It wasn't our own selling each other out. There were other dark-skinned people there, African tribes, who seen the other dark-skinned people. Of course, well, that's your people put the lust of money and green out there. Our people just went after it. Go ahead.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the time?
So Ezra asked, what's going to be the part of the son of time? What's going to be the change in the times? Talking about the determination of the last days and the end of the world. Read.
Or when shall the end be of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him.
Remember, we just got the reading of that. Jacob and Esau being born of Isaac. Read.
Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
So the history was revealed. It said Jacob tried to grab Esau, tried to put him back in, tried to get first. Didn't work. Read.
For Esau is the end of the world.
See, Esau, your people, the rulership that you guys have managed to collaborate and have, That's the end of the world as we know it. This is why you see all of the calamity that's happening around the earth. Not only is the earth now fighting back through floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, you know, the earth is fighting back. The animal world is tired of being held in captivity. You're seeing them coming down from the mountains and going into people's backyards, the bears, and they're going into grocery stores and all kind of stuff. You're seeing the nations of the earth, they're all upset, protesting and marching all over the world. Nobody wants to be oppressed now because now what? They got the mandates, they got the jab, there's conspiracy about whether or not this was man-made in a Wuhan lab and everything else. Who's at the helm of that? Let's talk about, you know, how much of the body count.
What better way to start a war than to start a
Your people love
epidemic,
war.
right?
Your people love war.
Get
Go
away
ahead.
with it.
For Esau is the end of the world.
Your people are going to be the end of this world. You was at the head, you're going to be at the end. You've ruled it irrationally, savagely, wickedly, through lies, murder, rape, steal, kidnap, everything. The Lord said that's got to be done with. That hasn't worked. You've enjoyed the fruits of the labors of your forefathers. You say, it wasn't me, I wasn't there. But guess what?
I didn't
Guess what?
get anything out of it. Believe me.
You
I worked my whole freaking life.
Guess what? Let me ask you this. Would you be considered white trash?
In some cases, probably.
Why do they have to call you white trash?
Because they put a label on
They put a label on you. That means that you were the one who got left out. See, in the elite side, your people look up, we're trash already. But they said, you're the white trash. You're the trash of our own.
you. Right.
You understand? You should be mad at your own damn people. Because you got left out of the hustle. They out here
There's no
capitalizing,
reason
man.
to
You
be
got
mad
left
at
behind.
anybody over it because
You got left behind.
Those people got.
Go ahead.
They're all dead now.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning
Well,
of it that followeth.
See,
Can't
we're going to
dwell.
be the new rulers of this earth, man. Your people have ruled it in wickedness and sedition and everything else. You got to be removed, man.
When you stop
got to be
labeling,
removed.
when you stop labeling things,
We didn't create the
That's when
labels.
it's gonna-
Your people did that. You got
we're
it?
all the same. I look at you
Okay, what
as
you
a
gotta eat?
brother, as the same as me,
Listen up, listen up.
and we
can
all
start
look
doing
at each other the same.
it. See,
That's
one
when
time
the
Jessica
world's gonna
comes out, now
change.
he's scared. Hold on.
No, I gotta go to work.
You
Sorry.
got to go to work?
One thing.
Go ahead.
This is the definition of Edom, Esau. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34:5. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
See that? The Lord said your nation was the only nation that was promised no mercy. If you read the book of Obadiah, the Most High said that your people is going to be wiped out and shall not return.
That's what's happening.
Right. You're going to burn in that stubble, white trash. All praise to the Most High, man. All right. So, let's go ahead on. Let's get back to the scriptures. Let's go back to give me Isaiah 1 and 3. And then give me 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Isaiah 1 verse 3. Then we're going to read 2nd Ezra chapter 9. What you got? Let's go.
Verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
So the Lord is trying to tell you so-called blacks and Hispanics. He said, listen, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. You let an ox out, you let an ass out, they're going to always be able to find their way home. They know who their father is. They know exactly where their food is. They know where their bread is buttered at. And these are two of the more dumber animals that can be used for laborious labor. So all they know is how to get back home so that they can eat, they can drink, but all they're going to do is still go back to work. He said the ox and the ass, they know their owner. Read.
But Israel does not know.
The children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you are the children of Israel, whether you know it or not. The Lord said, my people, the children of Israel, you do not know who your owner is, who your father is. You still bowing down to white Jesus. You still bowing down to statues of Mary. You still rubbing rosary beads. You're still involved in going to Mecca and bowing down to the Kaaba stone. Doing everything but praying to the ancestors, rubbing on crystals. Doing everything but recognizing and knowing who your father is.
I have a question for
What's
you.
your question?
It's like, you know, like...
You've been drinking today? Let me ask you a question first. You've been
I'm
drinking?
going to put the money down right here.
Drop it right
like
there.
Adam and Eve and stuff, you know, like the
Right.
beginning of the Bible. there was like Adam and Eve and stuff. And guess what? Adam and Eve, and there was like, guess what? And Eve was the one that.
Where's
like,
your question coming along? Because you're making statements. What's the question?
that was God punishing us because Eve like took a picture of the apple,
What?
or is God punishing us because it's
Well,
like?
let me ask you this. First of all, slow down.
Put the money right here.
I appreciate it. Slow down. Hold on. Slow down. You asked a question. First of all, you said, are we being punished because Eve took a picture of the apple? There was no cameras back then.
No. A thing. She took like
Okay. A bite of the apple.
A bite of the exact.
Right.
And
Okay.
guess what? After that, God
Okay,
punished
calm down. You're moving too close. Okay, fall back. Fall back.
I'm
Fall
gonna
back.
tip you
Put your
more.
mask on too. Put your mask on. Okay. Fall back. Number one. We'll get to that. Go back to Genesis. Read verse 3. Because number one, you're not gonna find an apple anywhere in the Bible.
What?
Huh? No apple.
What?
No apple. The Bible does not describe an apple at all in Genesis.
Wait, are you serious?
Slow down, fall back, man. You're gonna listen, and then you'll get the understanding.
I will listen.
I said put your mask on. You can't put that mask on, man. I don't want to deal with you. I don't know what you got. I smell liquor, though. What you been drinking? I mean, I sip a little wine, too. What you have? See, look at it.
Tequila.
Okay, tequila. Okay, fall back and listen then.
I'm not. Guess what?
Genesis 3, I'm answering your question.
Guess what? I had to fire someone today. And
No
stuff.
problem. Listen up.
So I
Genesis
had to
3.
I had to fire someone.
Yeah, started one.
Book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said.
You got a phone?
Yeah.
Okay, you got a Bible on your phone? No. All right, come back over here. You trying to stand over here like you on post. Get over here.
Wait. So wait. What,
Stay right there.
What,
Stay, hold.
Wait, what are you trying to prove to me?
I'm telling you that there was no apple in the garden. Eve didn't take a
What?
bite of an apple.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. Read on.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
Eat of every tree of the garden. That is metaphorical. That doesn't mean that she going over here eating off all of the trees. Listen up. Now this is Satan talking to Eve. Read.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Go ahead.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it.
The fruit of the garden, he said, don't eat of it. He said fruit. He didn't say apple.
Yeah.
He didn't say orange. He didn't say tangerine. He didn't say pineapple, nothing. Read.
Lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Wait,
So we haven't heard nothing about apples yet, right? Okay.
Can I
You
ask
said
you a
fruit.
question?
I can hear you. You don't have to keep coming close. I can hear you. You loud enough. Fall back, man.
All right, I want to make
After this, if you don't come back again, you
I
got to
want to
go.
make a donation to your organization.
You just did. We appreciate you.
About $250,000. I want to make a donation.
Come back next weekend.
Like,
We'll talk about
like
it.
a card, like a
No. Just come back next weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see that?
But that's like
Who is this? Who is this? You know who this is?
Yeah, I know that is. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Go back to Esau again. What's your nationality?
I'm Hungarian.
Hungarian. Okay.
I know who that is and stuff.
Right.
Right. I
Give
gotta
me
get
that.
going right now, right?
Good. Yeah. You take off. Good Lord, man. You talking about the heathen walking in derision, slumped over, slurring, broad day. Give me Isaiah 5 too. About woe to him that rise up early in the morning to take and follow strong drink. I mean, if he don't have destruction already coming to him, he's only compounding that through the liquor. Read.
It's the book of Psalms 109 and verse 10. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg, and let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places.
See, they were praying for white privilege to end. He said, let their children be vagabonds. I mean, look at this dude. Running around with a Hooters shirt on and a sports jacket. And a bag of liquor. All over the place. Strolling around trying to find somebody. He can't even find himself. Vagabond. What you got? Yeah.
Book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 22. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink.
A little earlier. I think 7. Is it 11? Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink.
So the way he was lit off of tequila, he started early. The Lord said, woe unto him that rise up early to keep margaritas for breakfast. That's what the Lord said, man. Our people need to be sober, vigilant. He wasn't our people, though. But that's who you follow. Give me Proverbs 3:31 and we'll finish this up. Woe unto you that rise up early in the morning, you can follow strong drink. That's all people do. You want to take the edge off. You had a long night drinking, you wake up, you want to crack a beer. I got to follow it up. I got to keep it going. The Lord said, man, you got to sober up, so-called blacks and Hispanics. Then you see your so-called white man, he running around here doing this foolishness. You say, oh, it must be cool. Was that it? Okay. Proverbs 3:31. Who got that? Go ahead.
Book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressors, and choose none of his ways.
See, that's wrong with our people. We have envied the oppressor. We have chosen his ways. But how did the so-called white man get this land? Rape, murder, thievery, right? Genocide, chemical and biological warfare. We do it all. How do you say, we don't involve ourselves with chemical? Yeah, you do. You selling meth, pills, weed, crack to our people. That's biological warfare. You're in the lab cooking up, killing your people. Where you learn that from? I was watching Breaking Bad, man. Niggas turned out on meth. There's money in meth. See? Rape, murder, killing, destruction. Brother went through it earlier, man, talking about the complete devastation of Mesoamerica. Conquered by the Spanish, Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, French. All capitalized off of the blood of the people that was already here. The Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayans, the Olmecs, the Maroons, the Arawak Indians. What do people do to you? That you had to come over here, conquer, destroy, kill, maim, rape, in order to get it. We're talking about millions. Millions dead. With no repercussions, no apologies. And you say, well, Native Americans, they got reservations. We gave them land. Have you been to the reservations? Have you? Have you seen the conditions they living in? I have. It is worse than any ghetto that you see here in LA. You're talking about dirt roads, destitute of food. One of the tribes in North Dakota, they are the most poorest in the Western Hemisphere. Average median income is $7,000 a year. That's not a month. That's not every 2 weeks. A year for the Native American tribes in North Dakota. And you saying, oh, we're still good, everything's fine. 2021, see, our people don't even care as long as it don't